Welcome to a world where particles, vibrations, and light collide, a place where leading industry experts and healers come together to discuss controversial topics that will challenge your beliefs and expand your mind. From quantum physics to metaphysics, no topic is off limits, but this is not your typical podcast.
I'd like to know if you could give us some pointers on dealing with the triggers.
Well, remember, you can't get triggered unless you have a belief that you can be triggered, right? The triggers happen when we feel like we have no control. The triggers happen when we feel like we're a victim. The triggers happen when we feel like somebody's in our space, right? Those are all triggers. And so if you understand, if you're able to stay in the space of, it's an interesting thought you've got.
It's a show guaranteed to make you question your assumptions and push you to expand your horizons. For those who are already fascinated or passionate about the work of Patti Conklin, this show will give you an inside look into the mind of one of the industry's most renowned figures in vibrational mediation. With over 28 years of experience and a long list of big-name collaborations, Patti's insights and perspectives will inspire and challenge even the most seasoned practitioners. And if you're the skeptic who doesn't believe in vibrational mediation, this show is for you. Healers, doctors, and scientists are just a few of the professions represented by our fascinating visitors that bring their unique perspective to every episode. Join us on this journey into the world of healing within and adventure inside. Our mission is to inspire, challenge, and enlighten our audience with thought-provoking conversations and fascinating guests from a wide range of fields who can shed new light on important issues facing society today. Join us for each episode if you're ready to explore and learn about the latest developments at the intersection of cutting-edge science, spirituality, and self-improvement. Enter a world where waves, particles, and light all meet. Enter the world of healing within and adventure inside.
You're with Patti Conklin and Healing Within and Adventure Inside. I have a wonderful human being who just has so much knowledge and so much information. Dear friend, but beyond that, her capabilities are so expansive. And so I'd like to bring in Marla Maples. And Marla, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Patti, you know how much I adore you and all that you do in the world to help so many people. So it's an honor to be able to be here in this new venture with you. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the first time we've actually ever filmed together. So, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, because you've got so much knowledge and information on how people can take care of themselves. The little things that you teach and that and that you believe and so forth, that is important for all of us, male, female. So tell us a little bit about you. Like, where are you in your life?
Well, the knowledge that you're talking about comes from really going through it the hard way and learning from these challenges that we get. You can either be a victim, or you can choose to take control of your life and your health and learn from all of your experiences. And the first thing that I do when things get challenging, and I just mentioned to you, I had a water leak. I'm like, Patti, what does this mean? I always want to get deeper into what things mean and understanding, because I believe the universe, God gives us signs all along the way. And growing up in a small town in Georgia, just up the street from where you are now, 500 people. It was a small town with a lot of churches, no stoplights, and a lot of backwoods to play in, trees to climb, rocks to sit on, and I was known to be outdoors, probably absolutely as much as I was indoors.
Yes.
So I had such a love of nature, and while as a child you can take it for granted, when you get older, and as I did, I moved to New York in my 21 years old to go deeper into my acting world. You learn to really appreciate the depth of what you had, in your youth. And for me, I was able to really understand how important nature was for my healing. And every day I will try to get outside and ground myself in the earth, reach up to the sky. I just posted on my Instagram this morning. I had like 15 minutes to run down. I'm near the beach and I was like, okay, the light looks great. The sun's right there. It's not too bright. Let me just feel the earth. Let me ground myself. Let me reach up to heaven and let's be charged for this day. And I think I started that way as a kid without even consciously knowing that it was something that would benefit me. So I told everybody so much during the lockdown. I was in New York City during lockdown, and I just said, going out to hug a tree, got to do it.
Get yourself out to Central Park and hug some trees. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. I've always been a tree hugger. I was a tree climber. Most of my youth, my dad and mom would find me. It'd be time for dinner. I'd be way up in the top of a pine tree, just like holding on or sitting on a little branch up top and getting a perspective of the entire world. Right? It's so important, and I've learned that through a lifetime of getting myself out of the challenges to see above it, how to rise above things, see above. And as a child, that was my greatest love, was to do that, and the only way that I knew how at the time.
Yeah. I can't imagine your mom and her state of mind with you climbing a huge tree and looking down. I mean, I just can't imagine your mama's response on that.
And riding motorcycles and, coming back all dirty and muddy from hitting those puddles. And she's like, Marla, and you get in right now. We're going to wash your hair and I'm going to comb it all the way through. Make sure there's no ticks in there from climbing those trees.
That's right. That's your mom. That definitely. That's your mom's whole essence. I mean, she has transitioned onto a beautiful place, but what a beautiful soul. She was just a blessing to all of us. So yeah, I can see her though, just getting you. And I mean, you still do cartwheels and just, I'll look out the window and you'll be doing cartwheels. And it's like, your body is that of a child. You take such great care of yourself. And I mean, it's just not, it's not just doing cartwheels or getting outside every day and running the beach. I mean, what other things do you do and that do you advise for people to really help with their health? Because it is such a major thing, especially in this day and time.
Well, today I had to go downtown for a bit, and this man was crossing the street. And he goes, "Oh boy, it's hard getting old." I said, "Stop saying that. Don't say that. Change what you say." We talk about that with our friends, and I have my friends remind me the moment that we step into speaking anything that isn't of the highest and greatest good for us and what our environment may be, that can get us out of balance. So get into it, turn it around. And I just said, "Come on, you look great. Come on, let's just have that vibrant life." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, your light." He actually used the term light. He says, "Your light already makes me feel younger."
Oh, wow.
And I thought,
yeah.
And he was like 77 years old and a nice old, country boy. And I'm like, wow. So those little things reflect back. And every time you can help boost someone else, you get boosted.
Yes. I mean, it's so true. I mean, what we say goes not only inside of ourselves, because our body's recording it, but it's also then going to the person that we're connecting with. And what a blessing. I mean, you made his day. This is a day that he will remember for his entire life because of one woman who he probably doesn't know, encouraged him to speak kindly to his body.
Exactly. And that's what we do. That's what we are as light warriors in these beings. And I'm sure your audience that's watching understands so much about that. That's our role. Did I say our? Is that Southern? That's our role. Our role is to be able to take that light and share it and watch it radiate, because I feel that this is why we were born. Patti and I have been friends for a long time. We have a lot of dear, dear friends like Joy and Tara, who are also light workers, and we feel ageless and timeless. And when you understand that you are made of light, right, it gives you the energy to move forward without the limitation. And someone said to me, I was on the beach playing and in the ocean, jumping up and down with some girls next to in a public beach over here. And I don't even know how age came up. And she said, "Well, honey," she goes, "spirit doesn't age." Spirit doesn't age. And I'm like, you're right. So that's what you said. I've got the body of, my youth, because I keep the spirit of my youth, right? And that's so important. And yes, I do my stretching. I do my deep breathing. I do my tapping. I do yoga at least 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And really getting into like open up all the portals that we have here with the chakra system and all the organs that we need to work out, not just our legs so we think we look better, our arms to do our weights, but our organs need a workout too.
Absolutely.
And that's where, yoga and the breath work is really, really important to keep everything moving and being able to, as you have such an incredible gift as a healer. But being able to see your body. And I was practicing it this morning, just being able to let the light run, do a check of my body and see where there were blockages, right?
Right.
And I have a little something going on here in my stomach and lower back. And I was and you as the healer would probably tell me better, but I was just, okay, how would Patti do this? And I've done my theta healing work. I've done the advanced workshops and such, but going and getting the energy to those areas to help get it circulating again, to remove those blockages.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find your energy changes? I mean, you've been all over the world, and I know that, haven't been as many places probably as you. I think I'm only on 62. I think you're close to 100. But do you find, as I do, that our energies change or that we need to adjust our energies to the surrounding area of where we are?
That's interesting because, we know that there's a vibration to the earth, right?
Right.
And I think it was Tara that had taught me how to tune into the vibration, hear the vibration of the earth, hear the sound, hear the hum. So it would make sense that in different places you would feel that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cities are different than, being on a lake in the country or in the mountains, right?
Right. Right.
And the energy of other people that can have an effect on us. And being empaths, that's difficult.
I know one of the things that I had an internal revelation about was going somewhere and feeling the energy really low, in the country that I was in.
Right.
And instead of moving everybody up, I decided it wasn't a good thing or a bad thing. It was just, that's what the energy was. So I shifted my energy to merge with what was there and felt wonderful.
Really?
And it was just, I was out of sync with the energy. And so when I blended myself with it, even though it felt heavy when I first got there, then it felt tremendous. It felt really fantastic.
Did you have to lower your frequency?
I did.
You did?
I did. I lowered my frequency until I matched it. And then it was pretty awesome.
Well, what we think about that's, I'm going to think about that next time I'm traveling, but we do it in our environment with people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What level are they on? Now, I don't like how it happens in my tennis game. When I'm playing with great people, I play great. And when I'm playing with average people, I become very average. So that's been, the past of how it's been. So it's like, getting, I don't know what that is, but it's like getting in the matching the frequencies, I'm sure.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And then when you play with the greats, then your game is awesome.
Game is on. The game is up. You just are taking it up. Exactly. But really, all of that is interesting because yes, I do travel a lot and have had the challenges with it, but spend a lot of time in Africa, and sometimes that's a more difficult place, right? Mm-hmm. And India, right? Heavy energy.
Heavy energy.
So and I think that's what I probably did. I felt tired all the time there because I did not really know, and I didn't activate the way I needed to while I was there.
Right. It's that learning curve, isn't it? As we continue to travel or go different places, I live on a beautiful lake, but when I really need to cleanse, I need the ocean.
Right.
The lake doesn't do it for me. I need the ocean of having that vibration and that rhythmic drumming of the waves.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now and it's just like the waves are so powerful, so strong. And it's that it's continual. It's just like seeing through like eternity through the sea. It's beautiful. I used that when I was birthing my baby 28 plus years ago. I used that motion and that rhythm of the sea as part of the natural childbirth.
What a great idea. What
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone speak about that, of using the rhythm of the waves, which would make perfect sense because you're, pushing the placenta and baby girls and all that beautiful stuff and just giving birth. That's a wonderful way for natural childbirth. Yeah. Wow.
Just like it was yesterday.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? It does feel like it's yesterday, and they grow up so fast. Being a mom, being a mom, traveling the world, how did you keep that spirit light? I mean, I'm going to go one step beyond that. How do you keep the spirit light and still glow so much? I mean, because we're in different countries and we're dealing with different water, sometimes we break out, our complexion gets all yucky or whatever. I can honestly say I have never seen a photo of you in another country in natural light where you've had that issue. Talk to the rest of us in the world where we do have that issue.
Oh, you're so cute. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I think I just try to find the joy in whatever I'm doing. And I do think that even if the skin's looking a little droopy or saggy, I think when you turn your joy up, everything turns up, right? and I do see life as an adventure. So doing my best to stay appreciative, even when it's hard, right? I love to go without makeup most of the time, right? And just let the natural humidity work in my skin and such, and just let it breathe. The times you have to be in makeup and you're in a big city, you can feel it on your skin, and it has a big impact on you. But I did some dancing in Italy. I co-hosted and did Dancing with the Stars in Rome, Italy. And that's, of course, the pressure of performing is one thing, but I chose just to be so in the joy of having this experience with people whose language I really couldn't understand. And knowing I'm going to have to just let my vibration be felt more than the exchange of words. And I think I do that a lot when I'm traveling in countries where there isn't, there's a language barrier. We went to Malawi I think my daughter was like 16, my friend Carmen and her daughter, we went to Malawi and we were going to visit some of the poorest areas. And we were the group, they were teaching them skills on how to farm for themselves, how to move water from one area to another without having to carry it, but helping build them a way that they can move the water. And we go into some of these areas and visit the kids. And we got out of the van and we were like blonde. I would say 8 out of 10 of us were blonde hair, blue eyes.
Wow.
These kids came out, they saw us, they started screaming out of fear. I think they've never, ever seen this, right? This. Yeah. And it was horrifying because we just have all this love to share with these little kids. They're like screaming. And the ladies in charge, it was like an orphanage. They have a huge problem with AIDS, of course, there. And she starts talking to them, and I'm like saying, what do we sing a song? Let's do a dance. Let's do it. So we each exchanged songs and we started dancing. And once we started dancing, like they were such great dancers, and then we would join with them. And then we sang them a song, and they sang us a song, and we just exchanged that energy, and then everything just shifted.
Yeah. It just changes so fast. People will say, do you speak a lot of different languages? And I'm like, no, I just kind of look at them and I just gesture I don't know what you're saying. And then they attempt and I smile until we finally get, the communication going.
If I would get a glass of cerveza, por favor.
Absolutely. So I want to touch on, because you did this recently, and I think it's been released. You did a TED Talk recently.
Yes.
And I want our audience to hear why did you do it? What did you talk about? Why do they need to take their time to go watch it? I know why I want to watch it, but what was it all about?
Well, it's only 12 minutes, so you can get in and out of it quickly.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
First of all, I did a TEDx talk in Franklin, Tennessee, which was great because that's a place I almost moved to, and I love music, and I have a couple songwriting partners in Nashville, so it was really great to get back to that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
But I'd always held the TED Talks in high regard as a speaker, thinking how it would be great if I got to a point I could, get up and have a knowledge to share with a TED Talk. And I sort of went in and out of it like we do in life. I'm like, wouldn't it be great? Oh, I'm too scared. Oh, I'd love to be able to do that and maybe touch people, but what do I have to say? I played that emotion back and forth for years as I watched other friends of mine give talks in New York and Italy and other regions. And I'm like, why are you being intimidated by this? If God has a plan for you, you better step up and do it. So when I was asked to do this, I'm like, I was under a time where I was doing a lot of prayer. And I realized like, God, let me be a channel for what Marla, this soul and this body is here to do. Let me hear you, feel you, walk your footsteps. Let me be that channel. Yeah. And then I start getting phone calls. I'm like, producer calls me and says, would you want to give a talk? And I said, well, what do you want me to speak on? And when she gave me the title, I was like, game over. It was faith over fear in difficult times. Because so many people have been suffering so deeply, more than anything else, from fear and not turning on their joy, and I just felt that this is something that I'd been working with people on, not just on their wellness, on the vitamins and supplementation and such to take, but also on how to overcome fear. So I went, this feels right up in my alley, in my knowledge point. So of course I was very, very busy, had to go to New York. My daughter's planning a wedding. I had this, that, this, and that. And I kept thinking, well, I'll get to it. Over there, I'll get to it. I have a couple of weeks, right? And other people have been preparing for months. And mine, of course, was like, I had like 3 weeks, I think, to plan. Uh-huh. And of course I ended up being, okay, I have a week at home to plan and have a little bit of ADHD. So I was like, I need to unpack that box. I need to organize this, all the things I wanted to get done before I could sit down and work on the TEDx talk. And but then I was speaking to the producers and they're like, you probably need to do some storytelling. I'm like, I'm not a great storyteller. What in the world? Then I thought, well, what are the times in my life I've been triggered by fear? What are the frightening things that have happened? And I was like, there's about 22 of those things that have happened that no one in life would really, look at me and think that I'd gone through those challenges. So then it came down to narrowing it down to 2 or 3, and which would have the most impact. So we all go through things, and I actually had written down a few, was going to choose which one to share. Had about 3 hours when I was going to be traveling and had everything down, but let's cut and edit because 12 minutes, you got to be off the stage. And usually someone gives me a subject, I'm like, I could just go. If I know the subject, I'm like, okay, it's just coming. But here I'm like, it's got to be under the guidelines. They have strict guidelines, and they flagged me. I don't know why, but YouTube. And I said, well, I talked about God and faith. So, don't know. So you guys, if you watch, send me a comment and say, what do you think I said that would cause YouTube to flag this interview? Because I think it's a wake-up call for people to see how bad we are, being controlled and blocked from getting everything that we have on our hearts to share that hopefully will help others. So anyway, my computer, I had 3 hours to do this, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to narrow it down. I'm going to time it out. My brand new computer froze.
What?
Couldn't type, couldn't move anything, couldn't move the air, nothing, couldn't do anything. I'm like, the entire 3 hours I dedicated to this. Then I got to the hotel, I rebooted everything, did a hard reset, got it back up. Then I have allergies. I mean, I had the worst allergy attack. It was Franklin, Tennessee, in the middle of the spring, everything budding. Haven't gone through that. And where's my local honey? Where's the local honey? I'm thinking of all the things you did. And I was up all night the night before, sneezing, runny nose, headache, crazy. and knew the next day they were going to need me. So all those prayers I'd said about, let me surrender to your will, God.
Yep.
No choice, because suddenly it's like they're coming to pick me up. Time for hair and makeup. Okay, well, I'll rework this when I get in my hair and makeup. People are talking, no time. After hair and makeup, now they're wiring me to go on stage, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the tissue? I've got to stuff my britches with tissue. Just my noses for every 15 minutes. It's like, powdering the nose, catching a little sneeze.
Right.
You know what? I was forced to, my prayer was, let me surrender to what you want me to say. God, show me the path. Well, he took my reasoning away. So all I had was to walk up there with those, never had a rehearsal on the stage, those bright lights in my eyes, couldn't see the eyes of the people to connect, which I love. And I just let myself be a channel. So I'd love to see what you all think from it. That would be wonderful if you can just tell. Now that you know the backstory, it'll make it more fun.
Exactly, to get in there and watch it and see. But, I think that we work that way a lot. And I think that God works through us that way a lot. I mean, I just so many lectures through the years of getting ready to go on stage and having to look at the flyer for the conference to see what my title is, because I just didn't remember it, and get up there and just talk from your heart. And I think that that's what comes through the best. And so, yes, folks, go to YouTube and watch the TEDx with Marla Maples and write your comments and let her know.
Thank you.
What you said that would make
that'd be awesome. I'd love to. And I think it's good to comment just to let them know that we're watching. That we're paying attention, guys. Why would you flag this? We're paying attention. What's up with that?
It's one of the reasons why we have this show and why I bought the broadcasting platform, was because I didn't want to censor people. I didn't want that taking place. I want people to talk about what they want to talk about. Absolutely. And not
everyone's soul is on fire with something. If it's not, we need to ignite that. And what we're finding as a generation of hopefully we're not going to find this and everything will work out, of folks afraid to open their mouth, from being told that you're not going to be heard and we're going to cancel you. So we just want our children and ourselves to know that God gave us all a mission and a vision, and it's never going to be the same one. We're unique. Right. So let's have these experiences of hearing these unique opinions. Then we choose what we want to hold on to, right?
Absolutely.
Let us hear on all sides. Let us hear. Yeah. You can find I think if you just put in like Marla Maples TEDx Franklin, or on my website, I have it up, and on it's on my Instagram. It's Marla Maples. Yeah,
Marla Maples
with a blue check.
That's
right. Marla Maples Instagram, and marlamaples.com is my website, where I'm really striving to keep adding more content for wellness, for beauty, for inspiration, for protection against Wi-Fi radiation. And I have my little crystals around now. And just ways to do recipes, things that I do that have helped me in my life, and just ways of sharing products and people that I've learned from throughout the years too. So you'll find an abundance of wellness tools on there, and delicious wellness
which
things.
Is so important. It's so important to have those basic things. I mean, just one of the things that always stands out for me, and I hope I don't embarrass you on this, but we had coffee one morning. We had organic coffee. And we got done with the coffee, and you took the grounds and you were rubbing your arms. And I'm like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm exfoliating my arms and just, helping the circulation. And I don't know, you said something. I'm just looking at you going, okay. So now I find I do the same thing.
I love it. We got to make good use of those expensive coffee grounds, right?
Absolutely.
So I truly, we see all these sugar scrubs, salt scrubs and everything. And then I looked at my daughter's bathtub and I went, a coffee scrub. I went, honey, your mama can make that for you. Let me just go make a little pot of coffee. And truly, and that's where it started. It was like, I hate waste, really hate waste. And then you see, and I just felt like that I just didn't want to throw it away. And you could add a little coconut oil or anything to it if you want. But when it's warm, when they're still warm and they're fresh and they have that moisture, that's all you need. And it just keeps your hands feeling so good.
Yeah.
It's
amazing. It's amazing. And it's those things, the simple things in life that I think help us be successful in life is the simple things and keeping things simple and focusing on things. So my dear Marla, thank you so much for being on the show and just giving people your energy and your love and your insight and your thoughts. And I just so deeply appreciate you and everything you're giving to this world.
Well, same here, sweetheart. And then same to all of you watching. I know you're all giving, so we just have to keep lifting each other, shining our light brighter so we can help those who need to be reminded, right?
Yep, absolutely. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sweetheart.